Hello, clever people, and welcome to my very quick review of Cars 3. I am about to leave on a trip where I will be gone for 9 days, so this review won't have too much editing. It's going to be really quick. It's basically just my thoughts on the new Pixar film Cars 3. So this film follows Lightning McQueen yet again, as he is becoming older, and he is not as good as racing as he used to be, and there's a newcomer, and the newcomer is beating all the races. His name is Storm. He's just doing terrifically. So Lightning McQueen gets enlisted in a certain program. He works with certain people to try to make himself faster, to try to make himself better at racing so that he can beat Storm. And while he does this, he meets this personal trainer, and they have a great bondage, and it's basically about him just trying to rise up to the fame he once had. So Cars 3 I was not excited for, mostly because the second one, which is the most recent Cars movie, was absolutely awful. The first one I have a lot of nostalgia with because it was the second movie I ever saw in theaters. So I went into this movie sort of expecting maybe something not great. The reviews were good, so that was good, but I wasn't really expecting too much quality, and I came out with Cars 3 basically saying, it's an okay movie. It's alright. If of all the movies ever made, it definitely exists. And that's all you can really say for it. It's got some good messages for kids. It's got some absolutely stunning animation. That's absolutely something that exceeds most films. The animation in this film and the colors are absolutely terrific. Lightning McQueen, he's honestly never looked better. Just the way that even light reflects on him, the red and orange and yellow that make up his exterior, just it all looked absolutely fantastic. And the races were really good too, and surprisingly the cinematography. Most of the time animated movies don't really have cinematography, but if you're going to have a movie with cinematography, make it Cars so that the races look cool. And they definitely put a lot of thought into each frame of this film. Now, the issues, for one, it's very cliched. The ending was pretty unpredictable, but besides that, the rest of it was very cliche. Also, at a certain point in the film, Lightning McQueen becomes very unlikable, and that's something you should never do with a lead. Leads should be very likable characters that you can relate to, that you can fall in love with, that you can endure with. And unfortunately, the person that they try to make you fall in love with in this film, Lightning McQueen is kind of a jerk to them. And he's also just kind of a jerk to everybody in the movie, and that made his character unlikable at first. He turns around, it's very cliche, but he does turn around and you start to feel for him a little bit. But for the most part, I really couldn't sympathize with him, and that's something that the first Cars did really well. I cared about him, even though he was snobbish, he was in a bad situation. However, in this one, even though he's in a bad situation, I still just couldn't care for him. And also, this movie's very pointless and just very unnecessary at many times, I guess. Basically, there's about a big section of this film where Lightning McQueen is training, but he doesn't want to train in the traditional way. So he goes to like this dugout race where it's like they're going in an 8, and whichever car is last standing is the one that wins. And then he also sort of goes to like this tavern and bar and talks to old racers. For one, those scenes went on way longer than they needed to, and for two, felt kind of pointless, as if they weren't really going anywhere, and that was a huge issue. And also, this movie's just ultra forgettable. I don't remember a single thing about it, pretty much. It came, it went, and it's gone by now. I can't say I was entertained by it, which is why I have to give it a middling score, but honestly, it didn't offend me, it really didn't do anything too wrong, and it's just, in the end, it's alright. And that's why I will give Cars 3 a 5 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for Cars 3. What are your thoughts on this film or the franchise? Comment in the comment section below, and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.